Good evening or afternoon, depending on where you are. I am Fred Rui. Welcome to Quarantine Grilling, where this week's episode is breakfast for dinner. I don't know about you, but I basically just have visions of them pouring pancake batter over the griddle and just getting pancake sticks. But we're going to see what we end up with. This is episode 10, if you're following along at home. So that means that there are, you guessed it, 9 other episodes, and we have still not got these guys off the air, but we keep trying. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring in both of our guests, or I don't, can I even call them chefs? What can I call them? Like backyard hacks, backyard cooks? I'm not sure what it is, but let's bring in John Carney and Brian McGee. Welcome, guys.
What is going on?
It's the good
hacking cooks.
Afternoon.
It's the breakfast for dinner episode.
The Breakfast Club.
That's right. I saw the fancy little graphic. I was kind of hoping we were going to look exactly like the movie poster, but we didn't.
I'm sure there was some kind of copyright infringement on it.
No, I'm sure not at all. Not at all.
I've obviously stopped caring about any type of copyright infringement with some of these posters, so I'm not too concerned about it. So if anyone, just give everybody a heads up here. First of all, welcome, breakfast for dinner. The Breakfast Club is here. I know I've said this to the guys beforehand, but there's a black bear in my backyard right now, so everybody's a little concerned around my household. So for some reason, I run, jump, get out of the way, or I throw my actual dish somewhere outside to tempt the bear away. That may happen, but I do have a black bear out here, and I think that's a conversation we have. People like, oh, do you have a bear in your backyard? Yes, we do, and there's one here today.
Can you see him right now?
Oh, yeah, I can see him. He's probably like 100 feet away. He's kind of... By the way, he's obviously voted for my dish.
If you want to take one for the team and get us the views we need, you'd go get eaten by that bear.
Yeah, I'm just...
I may... If he comes back on the yard and he doesn't stay in the woods, I will take the grill cam over and we will get a black bear sighting.
Nice.
If he crashed the show, that would be awesome. We'd be on the Today Show tomorrow, like hanging out, talking about being on the Today Show tomorrow. That's how awesome that would be.
Yep. So he's over there hanging out, and my mother's keeping a close eye on him. So we'll see what happens. But I brought a couple snacks with me today. I got a shrimp cocktail. I'm going to be eating shrimp cocktail with St. Elmo's cocktail sauce, the best cocktail sauce in the world. This will light you up like a Christmas tree. And then I also have some pilota, some Limon Iberico that I have here that I'm snacking on today. Today I'm going to be using lots of bacon. So that seems to be what gets people going. So I got bacon for today.
I just got some Iberico bacon, and I got a Iberico country ribs, boneless. It looks like a ribeye steak. I can't wait to cook that thing.
So I'm already snacking. Fred, should I talk about what I'm cooking today? Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah, I was busy fact-checking here because I actually thought St. Elmo's Fire was directed by John Hughes, so I thought you were going for a very fancy, upgraded reference there with the sauce. But apparently it was not John Hughes, so,
No, it's just cocktail sauce. So today, I've got going on, Brian. This is what's happening, Brian. I'm coming right at you. I'm doing a muddled pomegranate a muddled pomegranate mimosa. That's going to be my first thing I do here. I'm going to make that. We're going to start sipping on that. It's going to have pomegranate orange juice. And instead of champagne, we're going to use some sparkling red wine from my friends at Barefoot. And then we're going to garnish that with a little pomegranate. We're going to put some fresh squeezed orange juice in there. Then the main dish is going to be a Filet Mignon Eggs Benedict. Instead of English muffin, we're going to be using a marble rye bread that I've cut into circles. We're going to be poaching an egg. I'm going to show some techniques on poaching an egg today. We're going to do the filet. It's prime filet. I've got it sitting here in truffle salt. Then we're going to do a butter emulsion with hollandaise sauce. And when I start doing that, we can look at some ingredients there. But it's a hollandaise sauce with butter, egg yolks, lemon juice, a horseradish mustard, some chili powder, and we're going to do a butter emulsion. And then we're going to do a side of a potato hash. We have a fingerling potato hash that we're going to be doing. And that's going to have bacon, 3 kinds of fingerling potatoes, peppers, shallots, sun-dried tomatoes, truffle salt, garlic, pepper, basil, lemon juice, and topped with some sun-dried tomatoes. And we're all going to serve that dish. All of that stuff's going to be served in one dish together that I cooked in the skillet. So we're going to be having a skillet eggs Benedict filet mignon.
Yeah. From Maine?
Filet mignon is from, this one was from the Midwest.
Okay, nice.
However, I do need my assistant to go grab me the fingerling potatoes from the refrigerator. So my assistant, please go to the refrigerator and pick up my potatoes. Potatoes.
Brian, do you have assistants? I mean, because the only thing I saw your assistant do is last week eat the bacon off the counter and run off. That's the only thing I've seen your assistants do.
That's my 4-leg assistant. That's right. Yeah, I was going to ask if that was allowed and if points are deducted. Because it's
that's
not
true. We're clearly. I'm getting out. We're clearly going to deduct points for assistant. Yeah. No, I didn't. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, of course. Well, I'm doing a all-in-one type meal as well. I'll be enjoying I haven't made it yet, but I will. A Mose, if I'm saying that right. It's like a rosé margarita with strawberries, sugar, tequila, a little bit of rosé wine, and lemon juice. And I'll be serving that up. I'm going to do a breakfast burrito with some sausage and bacon. But I'm also going to I'm going to crisp up some red potatoes to incorporate with it. And I'm going to make a roasted tomato salsa with jalapenos, garlic, Roma tomatoes, and a little bit of sage, and white onion, and that's going to be all incorporated inside the breakfast burrito. It's going to be really, really good.
Very nice, very nice. So I think I'll mention one of our sponsors here, Red Meat Lovers. We've talked about them for a couple of weeks. Still haven't gone back and looked to see what episode Evan was on, but definitely go back and look at that, and also catch Evan's dancing antics. I can't even say that word, antics, online. Certainly worth looking at. But I just saw a post the other day. They're still trying to expand. They're still going into other cities. They're already in several. But these are really, really killer events. And hopefully when we get out of this thing, hopefully in a real hurry here, they're going to be able to start putting on some events. But keep an eye out for some of that stuff. It's going to be pretty neat. All right. And we do have the live grill cam right now, so we can see John Carney. Basically, what is that? Filet mignon you're throwing on the grill?
I'm putting the filet on. I'm a big.
Getting some people in the chat saying that they can't hear very well, which is odd. They can hear me though, so I guess that's all that matters. Actually, I was going to compliment you. Your camera angle right now is the most awesome we've ever had on the show. That just looks like an absolute like tabletop presentation. Can you see that, Carney? Carney's frozen. Maybe the bear is sneaking up on Carney, and maybe he's not frozen. Maybe he's just pretending to be frozen right now. That's interesting. Go ahead, Brian. It's all you.
Quick to make the salsa with some white onion, Roma tomatoes, jalapenos, garlic cloves, and then once it's roasted and gets blistered up real good, I'm going to put a little sage in, a little avocado oil, and blend it up for the burrito.
Very nice. Carney's still frozen. I'm assuming it's a Black Bear episode. Wait, I think he's back.
Is he back?
I think he's back. Can you hear us, Carney?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
The grill cam stayed on, correct?
Sure. Let's go with that. I don't know. What are you smoking, John?
What? I'm smoking my hopes and dreams that are eliminated every time I log into the internet at my home. No, I'm smoking the La Coalition from Crown Heads. Got a nice little care package today from Crown Heads. So thank you for that. I really enjoy this cigar. Brian had actually had given me my first. Actually, I bought it from him at an event in Fort Worth, Texas. So I bought one of these from Brian, and it was fantastic. This is the second one that I've smoked, and I'm down to smoking about 1 to 2 cigars a day. So this is my first cigar today, so I'm on a clean palate. So it's very, very good. I just lit it up.
Nice.
The La Coalition.
I've got that one ready to light up also. Matter of fact, Brian, we're already getting words of who your towel sponsor is today. Do you have a towel?
Steve, I've got my one of my old Raggedy Beach towels.
Is there a Crown Heads towel? Can you get a Crown Heads towel?
But you know what? There's going to be one.
Yeah, I was going to say you need one now. Crown Heads cooking towels. You heard? Oh, all right. We have a running tally on who's going to win on the points, by the way. So first time I've ever done that. Brian picked up an extra point for camera angle.
Nice.
You ever have one of those days where nothing's going as planned? Like, you know, you have a black bear in your backyard. You can't get your grill to work.
Oh, you mean like 2020? Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those. My day right now is definitely the quintessential 2020 moment. Like, I have a full propane tank and it's not working. So
this is
luckily,
like one of those infomercials. But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Right. Yeah.
That's
2020 has more for us.
Oh man. So let me see here. We're doing a mid-show propane tank change. So Brian, you're gonna have to be the talker here for a few moments.
All right. Well, I am getting ready to crisp up these red potatoes, salt, pepper, and a little avocado oil. Get them on the heat, and these will be incorporated in the burrito. And Carney, I am smoking the La Flor Dominicana
Nice.
Oscuro. All right. Goes on the heat. A lot of moving parts. Now,
So what did you say you were smoking? I was in the shed when you said what you were smoking
I'm
today.
smoking a La Flor Colorado Oscuro.
Oh, beautiful.
Love it.
That's a great one. Those will be back actually in about 2 to 3 months. We traditionally make those once a year, and then we start producing them in the summer months, and then we ship them throughout the fall and into the winter. But a really nice blend. So yeah, glad you're smoking that one. That's nice. Thank you for picking that up.
Yes. All right, so I got some peppered bacon here that I'm going to dice up.
I think we're just going to leave the camera on Brian because right now he's the only one having anything interesting. By the way, was that sausage thawed that you threw on there, Brian?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
What?
So what are you doing? What are you working on now, Brian?
All right, so this is peppered bacon. I'm going to dice it and put it in with the sausage, get it going. And this will also be incorporated into the burrito.
Nice.
All right, I'm back in business.
You're making a lot of noise. A lot of noise. You have fire now? Hey, by the way, where's our bear? Carney's gone. He ate Carney. Okay. There we go. So where's our bear?
I'm not sure where the bear's at, but my grill is broken.
Really?
So
really?
we're gonna switch we're gonna do a mid-show switch. So I apologize for the sound, but I've got the grill cam is going to be moving here shortly. Fortunately, I brought my lobster boiler out here that I used for some of the steaks on my cast iron. So we're gonna light that sucker up, and we're gonna get going with that here soon. The bear is still in the woods. Everybody's very much aware of its surroundings and its whereabouts.
So how is it on the episode where you were going to have a record-breaking cooking extravaganza here? You're down a grill, and now you can't even start cooking yet.
Well, the thing is, I've got my charcoal going, so I have that side of the grill going. The worst case scenario, we're there. And then I've got this here, so we've got a good angle on the new grill cam. And
grill cam's pretty much just looking at the at the swimming pool.
So down below it, we've got a cast iron pan there. So we're all lined up with the cast iron pan.
There we go.
Alrighty. See, people, all the people that complain about how much I talk. When I'm not talking, there's nothing going on, guys.
There's nothing.
Just remember that.
I just got bacon and sausage cooking in the camera, so that's words enough, I think.
Yeah, I was just looking at the bacon. I didn't really think there was any. So we'll talk about Wood Butcher, one of our sponsors, Wood Butcher Maine. Matter of fact, one lucky viewer last week actually won a gorgeous-looking butcher block. So that was kind of pretty cool. So how they where are they on getting more product out on the site? I know they were getting bought out with a lot of stuff. Do they have some new boards showing up?
Yep, there's a couple boards available on their website right now. And then there's the live edge boards, like the one you have, Fred.
Yeah.
There's one called the BMF that's on there right now as well. The BMF is available. And so, yeah, there's plenty of products on there. There'll be more variety of boards coming in the next few weeks. Aaron, the wood butcher, just started finishing a deck project he was doing at his house for his wife. And then he'll be working on wood butcher projects here going forward. So you can expect more variety of boards in the next few weeks.
Very nice. Brian, what do you got going there? Great camera angle, by the way. Sausage. Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Yeah, so we got the red potatoes here crisping up. Sausage cooking, bacon cooking. And here, let me... All right, so can you see the new addition to my backyard?
What is that? That looks like a Texas smoker. Is it got a smoke box on the left side?
Yep. That's why I got the tomatoes and onions and garlic and jalapenos in to get them roasted. Smoking them at 450 degrees right now.
Is it a wood-fired box on the left side?
No, it's pellet.
Oh, it's a pellet grill. Who makes it?
Z Grills.
Okay. Is that your first pellet grill? Because you've always been the egg guy.
That is my first pellet grill.
Oh, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
I broke it at 250 for 2 hours. It went up as high as 260 and low as 240, but basically held at 250. And it's gone as high as 453 as far as setting it to a high setting. So, and those beef ribs I sent you a picture of,
yeah,
they were smoked on that. They came out perfect.
So, guys, just to all the annoyance and stress that I've been having here for the last half hour or so, I'm just going to make my cocktail, and I'm going to worry about cooking. I'll worry about cooking later. I can catch up. So I'm going to make my cocktail. So I've got my mason jar here. I'm going to put a little pomegranates at the bottom. We're going to muddle the pomegranate. So I got the pomegranate at the bottom, fresh pomegranate. Bring a view down here so people can see it. I've got my juicer here, so we're going to put some orange juice in there. And then we're going to open up the wine here, the sparkling red wine that we're going to use. Should have a nice pink color to it. And then we're just going to put the ice on top and give it a one-time flip. Cap on here, and we've got the Pomegranate Mimosa. Yep. So hopefully these sips here will take me to a point where the show starts looking up for me. I think, if I'm going to talk about who's going to win today, obviously I'm off to a bad start, but I think adversity and overcoming adversity is something that's very important, not just in our country today, but in this quarantine grilling show. And I think I'm displaying that, or I'm about to display that.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that. I mean, that does get certainly some bonus points in there for that. We'll give you that one.
But now that I've had that sip, I'm going to start cooking my my hash. So I got the burner on here. We're cooking with gas, literally. I'll figure out what's going on with this grill tomorrow. Not a big deal. One thing I always have is ways to cook. So we got that jacked up. I'm going to start off with the hash. We're going to put a little olive oil in the pan. We're going to put the bacon in the pan. I like bacon. I like it crispy. So there's the bacon. Sizzle away, baby. Tons of flavor potential on the bacon.
Oh.
Lots of fat. And we're using Iberico pork here. So we got Iberico pork belly. Delicious, the high-end stuff. Lots of fat, lots of good flavors to it. We're going to let that crisp up. Next up, we're going to have these tri-colored fingerling potatoes. I've got red, purple, and I've got the golden fingerlings. Those are going to go right on top. And remember, this pan that I'm cooking in is also going to be what we're going to eat out of today. We're going to have tons of excellent flavors coming out of there. I've got the filet off resting right now. It's gone through 2 cycles, 1 minute on each side each time, so it's gotten a total of 4 minutes, 2 minutes on each side. And I'm going to season a little bit at the end here. We're cooking with a lot of fat. So I like to cook, when I cook with a lot of fat, I like to kind of season at the end because I don't want to put too much salt in and I want to see where the flavors are at, so I want to have a good balance. So we've got those potatoes in there. I've got them kind of like a thick julienne. You can see they're rectangles, essentially. But it's got some great color to it, if you can see that.
I hate to say
the cigar is excellent, by the way, Brian. Thank you.
What's that?
The cigar is excellent, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for that, and thank you for Crown Heads for supporting the show.
Of course, of course.
The next thing going in is the peppers. Now, this is the Aloha pepper. So if you can see it here on the grill cam, this is a red and yellow pepper combined. It kind of looks like a yellow background with flames on it. It's this Aloha pepper. I've been getting those recently, so we're going to throw in that. It's about half a pepper. It's the same size as a regular bell pepper. But I'm going to put that in now because I want that to break down a little bit. And I'm looking not for the spice from the pepper in here. I'm looking for the sweetness.
We'll get good color on the sausage. You know what, Fred? You know what I'm going to do? When I'm done with this bacon, tell me what you think. The bacon grease is going to go in with the potatoes. What do you think?
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Improvisation right there, so that's points.
There's no points.
By the way,
improvisation, but you know. Yeah. Okay. One, here's the point list. I don't know if you can see who's leading, but I'm not going to show you. But if I had to write down a check mark for every time one of you guys improv'd, I would be here all day. So yeah, we're not even a category. Not a category. Not a, that's right. That's really good. So while we've got these guys there, I'm going to take a break and talk about the top five. The challenge we had to each other this week was to see our top five cereals. So oddly enough, there was only one cereal that we all agreed on, which I thought was really interesting, and it wouldn't even have been the one I would have guessed we would have. But top five this week, and vote for your favorite lineup of cereal. McGee has Frosted Flakes, Cheerios, Lucky Charms, Fruity Pebbles, and Fruit Loops. Carney went with Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Chex Peanut Butter and Blueberry, which I didn't even know that was a real flavor, but Raisin Bran, Mucilix, and Lucky Charms. And then my list was Captain Crunch, the Oops All Berries edition, Lucky Charms, Frosted Flakes, Basic Four, and Raisin Bran. And by the way, the only one we agreed on all three people was Lucky Charms, which I thought was interesting. So pick your favorite. It's only an internal argument here of who we get to bet, who we gets bragging rights. But whose lineup of cereal are you okay with? McKee's, Carney, or myself? If you could only eat those five cereals for the rest of your life, and that would be sad. That would be sad because there's so many great cereals out there. But one of those lists has to reign supreme.
So I just added garlic here, and I'm going to start seasoning. So I'm doing a little bit of truffle salt in here. So we got the truffle salt. Then I'm going to add some pepper, and I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice in there just to give it a little bit of acidity, and it'll cut some of the fat and give it some good balance. So the hash here is just about done. Then I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to work on the poached egg. And the very last thing we'll do is the toast and then the hollandaise sauce. But the cereal thing, I had to look up the Oops Berry edition. I didn't know that was a real thing either.
You did not know that was a thing?
No, I didn't know that was a thing. So I looked that one up myself as well, and it looks delicious.
It's just berries. It's just berries, which was funny because you'd think that, the factory would have figured that out by now. I mean, Oops All Berries has been around for 15 years or longer maybe, but it's delicious. I mean, Captain Crunch is one of those things you just basically eat until you've lost 6 or 7 layers of the roof of your mouth, and then you stop. And anybody that has had Captain Crunch can back me up on that.
So the Chex has all these different flavors. I combine peanut butter and blueberry together to make one. It's incredible. Yeah.
Now that's impressive because I didn't look it up. I saw it and I'm like, I gotta ask you on the show. I am very surprised that okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you the mixing. It's pretty good. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
So I just added some lemon juice to the hash here. We're about to turn down the heat. Challenge with this boiler that I got going here is that you really have one temperature. It's super hot. But the hash is coming along good. The colors are looking awesome. I'm going to throw some of that basil and chive mix in there to give it a little bit of green, but the colors come along great. So I'm happy with that.
Wes says that he's never opened a box of Fruity Pebbles he's not finished in one sitting. Wow, I'm not a Fruity Pebbles guy. Isn't that like flavored Rice Krispies? Isn't that pretty much what Fruity Pebbles is?
Yeah, essentially. And I've never been a big Fruity Pebbles fan either. It just wasn't something I was brought up with. But it's a little bit bigger than Rice Krispies. Like it's a little flatter. Yeah, it's a little bit flatter. It's like you took a Rice Krispie and flattened it. But there's a lot of people that live by them. But I've never been a big Fruity Pebbles fan myself. The one cereal that I left off there that I liked growing up that was excellent, I don't even know if they still make it, but it was called Blueberry Morning. It was like granola. Obviously, muesli I have on there. I really like muesli, which is kind of like granola. But it was like granola and Raisin Bran combined, only without the raisins, and they had raisin blueberries, essentially, which was delicious. That was something I always really enjoyed.
I don't know that one.
Yeah,
my honorable mention would have been Frosted Mini Wheats, probably.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys a question because I wasn't. I mean, I ate cereal, but I wasn't die-hard cereal guy. Were you guys the ones that sat at the counter with the cereal box and read everything and did all the puzzles on the back, or did you just eat it to eat it?
I ate the cereal.
I looked at the box. Some of them had like a little map, like a pirate map or something like that, So, yeah, for sure. I mean, you're going to eat like 5 or 6 bowls, so you got to find something to do other than just sitting there eating. Or you get a giant mixing bowl and you just put it all in there in one shot. But then you got to, you have the sogginess ratio, so you got to be careful with that.
Right.
So I'm pulling the hash off. I'm going to let it rest on the side. We'll reheat it here at the end when we get ready to go. I'm kind of going to, the good thing about letting it rest is it's crispy right now, but it's going to absorb some of the moisture that was in there and let the flavors melt. We're going to work on the, not Béarnaise sauce. I already did Béarnaise sauce. We're going to make Hollandaise sauce.
Oh, wow.
So I've got a little container off to the side here that we're going to melt the butter in. It's just a metal bowl, a mixing bowl. And we're going to melt the butter off to the side here. But first, we're going to take, I've got 3 egg yolks. So I got 3 egg yolks. We're going to put lemon juice. We're going to do horseradish mustard. The reason I picked the horseradish mustard is I'm using steak. I'm using the Filet Mignon, so I wanted something that goes traditionally with steak. So we're going to have a little bit of horseradish taste in there. So we're going to put in the 3 egg yolks. The next thing that's going to go in is a little bit of lemon juice. We're going to add a little bit of chili powder. We're substituting chili powder in the place of cayenne pepper, which is traditional in there. The reason I'm doing that is because we've got horseradish going into it. With this mustard, I'm going to take a tablespoon of the Colzix mustard with horseradish. We're going to put a little bit of sage in at this point. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit of sage over the top of the hash at the same time. And then we're going to put a tiny bit of cumin in there. And we're not going to put any pepper. We're going to mix this up, and then we're going to mix this up with the beater here a little bit. And we're going to mix this until it's pretty fine and all the The yolks are beat up a little bit, and the mustard, the lemon juice is all worked in. And then what we're going to do is melt the butter down. And then once the butters melt down, we're going to do an emulsification where I'm going to slowly pour the butter into the mustard and egg yolk sauce that I got going on here. The reason you go slow is because it's going to be very hot, and we don't want to cook the egg yolk. So we're going to try to mix it in. So what I'm doing right here will happen at the same time while I'm slowly pouring in the butter. But one thing I am going to do, which is some people don't like it, I'm going to taste these egg yolks, this egg yolk thing I got before I put that butter in there to make sure the flavoring's good. Because once I put the butter in, there's no going back.
All right, I'll be right back. I need to go blend this up real quick.
All right.
I will give Brian points. I don't appreciate it because I think it should be done on the show, but I give him points for keeping the blender indoors because it's loud. But that's just the sound of the kitchen. And if people don't like the sound of a blender in the kitchen, I don't know what they're thinking.
Right.
So this is going to be pretty good. It's not too citrusy. I got a little kick from the chili powder, and I got a slight kick from the horseradish. So this is in good shape. I'm going to set this off to the side. My filet is just about done. I'm cooking it about medium well today, medium well, because I'm going to share it with my father. So we are cooking this a little longer than usual. So if you noticed it resting there a little longer, that's because it's going to be medium well, pardon me. So Fred, what did you cook this week? You got on the show last week. You had some good stuff I saw.
Yeah, I actually did a brisket. Matter of fact, I think I got a picture of it right here somewhere. Let's bring it in here. Yeah, I did a brisket this weekend. I'm not normally a brisket person, so there's a picture of how it turned out on my Wood Butcher Live Edge scenario.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's got a pretty good smoke ring to it and everything like that. I'm not normally a brisket person. Like I eat it when I go out, but I don't normally cook it. So basically, I was doing kind of the Aaron Franklin, which he didn't invent it, but he certainly popularized it with the peach paper, where I took it to the brisket to about 165. Then I wrapped it in the butcher paper, put it back on, took it about 205. Then I took it off and let it sit for about 2 hours before I cut into it. So it actually turned out really, really good. I was really surprised. The last time I tried to do a brisket, it was way too dry. So I think that butcher paper technique actually worked really, really good.
Yeah, I was really fascinated in his technique. What is the thought process behind the butcher paper?
Well, I think it's a matter of stopping it from drying out. So you've already achieved the bark phase. You've already achieved the smoke. You've already locked in your smoke ring. So the idea is to basically just cook it, but not get the drying part where the juices start flying out or start evaporating out of there. So when you have the butcher paper, when you go to take it off, you can actually end up the butcher paper ends up being a little bit soggy because it's starting to release some of the juices, but so it keeps a lot of it in. Interesting. I've never done a lot of smoking like that, a lot of smoked meats, and so it's quite fascinating to me. So actually, this week also we did the Small Business Sunday that I do on the cigar shop. So this one is actually somebody's actually on the show quite often. Danny actually has a shop in Tobacco Plaza, Great Neck, New York. And I ordered some cigars. Matter of fact, Jonathan, you and I actually smoked one of those cigars on Friday night, which was the anniversary, which I have to say was probably one of the better San Andres cigars I've had in a long time, the anniversary one that La Serena has on. I was really, really impressed by that. And I'm very familiar with that tobacco just from blending with it and playing with it. And I know where he got it from, and it's a great cigar. And I've enjoyed his cigars a lot, but that one just really, really kind of wowed me. So we've been going around every Sunday ordering different cigars, as you know, and that was one of the ones we did. Brian's back from the blender.
That is, so good. The smell is unbelievable.
So remind everybody what was in that blender.
Everything was roasted. Roma tomatoes.
It's broken. This doesn't work.
Jalapenos, garlic, four cloves of garlic, and a white onion, about half a white onion. Roasted, and then before I blended it, added a little avocado oil and added some sage.
Please go. Please go.
It's
We're having a huge meltdown back here, guys. Huge meltdown.
What?
You're about to see me like Tom Brady was on the golf course the other day. I'm about to break something over here.
Is the bear coming?
The bear's around. Everybody's watching the bear. Everybody's asking questions. My propane tank, they're both broken. I'm now melting the butter on the grill. It's a shit show, guys. It's an absolute disaster over here. I'm persevering as best I can. If you were watching the grill cam, you saw the turkey boiler fall. Accident, the butter fell. It's a mess, guys. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Well, I mean, how much can we get out of that lighter? You're almost home. You're almost there.
I know. It's tough to go. Anyway, go back to the talking. But I'm just gonna go have my cocktail, and I'll put together the best thing I can today.
All right. Well, this is how it happens. This is definitely, as Danny just said, it's 2020 all over again. It has been a crazy, crazy year, but it happens.
If prove that it's live, then I don't know what does.
Yeah. Well, if the bear comes up, that would still be like amazing.
It would still hope for the
still.
I mean, look, I'm not hoping anybody gets hurt. I'm just saying, if the bear showed up, it would just be a pretty amazing thing. And the only way the bear would be showing up is if Carney was actually cooking things and it smelled it. But since he can't cook anything, the bear's probably just going to keep going down the road. The hash, on the other hand, looks awesome.
Thank you. We got a new arranger of the grill cam here. Alrighty. Yeah, the hash did come out good. I'm real happy with how it looks, and we'll see what happens here. Maybe I'll throw something together nice. Hey, this is a perfect reason as to why I don't wake up early in the morning for breakfast. This is what happens when I get up early. This is why I sleep in. Things don't happen good. This is why breakfast is my least favorite meal of the day. Nothing ever happens good in the morning for me.
Eggs, yeah. I put the bacon in with them and put some Monterey Jack cheese in it. So it's like a scrambled omelet.
A scrambled omelet. Okay, all right. So that's just a scramble.
Right.
What makes it an omelet and not just scramble?
I don't know. I've never put bacon and cheese in scrambled eggs.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can see why you figured it's a scrambled omelet. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
You've never scrambled eggs and just thrown like something in there like bacon or tomato or avocado and cheese? Not even cheese?
Always put it on the side. No, I rarely do that. Rarely.
Huh. I do that all the time.
Might as well just make an omelet.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that some of my stuff doesn't start out as omelets, and then basically it doesn't like, the pan's sticking or something, and then it all turns into a scramble.
All right. I'm trying to think. I might be ready to construct.
Nice.
Shall I?
Absolutely, go for it. I'm just gonna put. It's gonna be all you, just your camera. We're only watching you. Oh, and maybe some fire at the bottom. There we go. We have you and fire at the bottom.
There's a bear. Turn. Go.
Oh yeah, no, I will dump you like a heartbeat if we all of a sudden have a bear showing up.
All right. All right, so you remember the episode where I did the carne asada fries?
Yep.
All right, so this is that white sauce, which is sour cream, whipping cream, the juice of half a lemon, cayenne pepper, 4 cloves of garlic, and sriracha. So this will be the base.
Ooh, that's a lot of garlic. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but...
All right, this is balls hot.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You want to test it?
I will
All right.
after.
Oh,
Please, just wait till the show's over.
Yeah, I said after.
We've got this bear is sending everybody in a freaking tizzy back here. It's like, could you send a German Shepherd this way, Brian, so I can take care of this thing?
All right, so some egg. With bacon and cheese. Topped a little sausage. A little more bacon, because you can never have too much bacon. Crispy red potato. I can already tell this is not going to fold properly, but I'll try. And salsa.
Homemade salsa.
Homemade.
Yeah, now it's definitely not folding. Does look good though.
Yeah, I put too much in here.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad. And get a little color.
Bringing Carney back in here, we can hear him working away at something.
I'm doing my butter emulsification right now for the hollandaise sauce.
What will you be
Takes
cooking
a
it
lot
on?
of stirring. It's already been cooked. The butter has been on. Yeah, the butter was melted on the top of the charcoal, so I did that, and the sauce was already mixed up. So now I'm just pouring in slowly, as you can hear in the background. I'm slowly emulsifying the butter into the sauce, and we're going about probably a few seconds away from, maybe 30 seconds or a minute away from actually having hollandaise sauce. Essentially, we did indirect heat on the butter. So I'm just giving a little bit more stir here, bring a little bit more air into it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to give it a sample and see how it goes. But the important thing is to keep stirring for an extended period of time as the butter's in here, because I said you do not want the egg yolks to cook. But you do want the sauce to stay warm. All right, so that's good to take a test on. Spoon.
Get a close-up on Brian here real quick. He's got it up for the camera here. That looks really, really, really good. We only have a little time left, and we're not going to get a bear, are we? This guy's not coming up.
No, I don't think we're going to get a bear. We've got everything that the bear is causing. I think the bear. I'm blaming the propane on the bear. I'm blaming all the questions I've had to answer on the bear. I'm blaming the Wi-Fi on the bear. So right now I'm putting a little olive oil on my toast here. Said it's a marble rye. I'm going to salt it slightly. Just a little bit of salt, and then we're going to toast it up. The problem I'm going to have here is I have to poach an egg with very limited fire. So we're going to put this directly on the coals, and we're going to try to get this hot here in the last 10 minutes or so of the show. And we're going to poach an egg. Now, a couple things with poaching an egg. I got two different things here, two different tricks that I'm going to show people to help you poach an egg. So one of them is in the water I have a little bit of vinegar. I put vinegar in the water. I'm going to dump a little bit of this water out because I'm going to try to get it to go a little bit faster. But I've got vinegar in the water. What that's going to do is help limit how much the egg white of the egg breaks down. So when we put that in, we're going to help hold that egg together. Now, another thing that I have is I also have this little grill screen here, this little grate screen. We're going to have that in the water, and we're going to put the egg, when I crack it, we're going to drop the egg directly into the screen. This is going to help keep its shape a little bit better. So there's two little tricks to hold the egg together and give you a little bit better shape of the egg. And this water is going to get to about 165 to 170 degrees, and it's going to poach for about 3 minutes, and it should have a nice runny center. So the last thing we do will be the poached egg, and then we'll be plating the dish here. So it should be perfect timing. And I said, I've persevered. I've done my best in the show today. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes, and the alcohol definitely helped. The cigar didn't hurt by any means. And nothing else helped but those two things. So those seem to be nice. My assistant was very helpful at the beginning. They became less helpful as the show went on, but they were very helpful at the beginning. So thank you for that.
Well, you know what we haven't done for a while that I think I have queued up from several weeks ago, as we have the pick two Would You Rather. Are you up for that? Are you up for that?
I'm up for anything right now. Just throw it at me.
All right, here we go. So we're going to do the Would You Rather. And let me get rid of this stuff here. And let me find it. Where is it? Here it is. All right, so it's Would You Rather. So you've got to choose between one of these items here as we go through it. And here we go. So the first one is Twinkie or Snowball?
Twinkie.
Would you rather eat a Twinkie or a Snowball?
Wow, that's tough. I'm going to go Snowball.
I'm going Twinkie. Yeah, that's... Do you realize we seldom ever agree on this one? Next one, Margarita or Daiquiri?
Margarita.
I'm going Margarita.
Margarita for sure, 100%.
Oh my gosh, we all agree.
All the way.
All right, here we go. Chips with ridges or flat?
Ridges.
That's a great question.
Well, I left out. I'm putting aside kettle chips. Those are not in the equation because I think almost everybody would go kettle chips. But chips with ridges or flat?
I'm definitely going flats.
Brian?
Ridges.
Yeah, I'm definitely going ridges. I want that extra sturdiness for when I'm like getting dip. That's all that's for. All right, light or dark beer?
Light beer for me.
Every day?
No, just, none of us drink beer every day, so it's one of those ones that's just like, hey, when you're having a beer, light or dark beer?
I'm being honest, light beer. Not like Miller Lite, but light.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to go with a lighter beer but, at night somewhere, like it'll be, it might be a dark beer, but generally if you're just talking, you drink a bunch of beer, that's what it's going to be. The last one is sports car or muscle car?
Ooh, for me, muscle car.
Carney?
Muscle car.
Yeah, I got to go sports car. I've got to go sports car. I've had plenty of both, and I just got to go for the hug the road scenario. So that was it. That was this week's episode of Would You Rather, which actually completely was invented accidentally in one show, and actually it's kind of fun to see what everybody picks. And we seldom agree. We seldom agree at all. I should have a running tally. Go back to all the shows and see who's usually more in agreement. But Carney usually goes rogue. That's my impression, is that he usually goes rogue. Like, I don't know anybody that picks Snowballs over Twinkies. I'm not saying I don't like Snowballs. I just don't think I'd pick Snowballs over Twinkies.
By the way, I'm having to cook like a caveman today. So I toasted my bread directly on the coals. I threw the bread directly on the coals and toasted it directly on the coals. So you got toast directly from charcoal.
Yeah.
By the way,
grill
Fred,
grate.
if you were here,
you
would hug. It's so good. That salsa is next level.
I actually remember the original caveman drawings that showed a very much similar situation that you have right now, Carney, And I remember, because I distinctly remember the Smithsonian, the big tablet with the one caveman that was making a hollandaise sauce and he poached egg, and how difficult that was for him to kind of challenge working over a fire with a hollandaise sauce. Yeah, and he didn't have the screen to poach an egg, so I mean, that guy had to be a badass. And it was a giant egg. It was like a pterodactyl egg, so it was a giant egg. He had to
poach the egg directly on the coals.
Yeah. When you poach an egg directly on the coals, I'll be impressed, buddy.
Right.
So I'm it's as close to the coals as you can get. So I've got the water in there. It's probably at 160, 170. It's pretty freaking hot. So I got the grill screen in there. I got the egg in there. We should have a poached egg in about 3 minutes. And then I've got just slightly over the top of the coals. I have my hash staying warm.
Right.
That hash is delicious, by the way. So I'm going to put my hash off to the side, and then I'm going to get my plating ready to go. So we're going to plate directly, as I said, directly in this pan. So I'm going to put
I'm actually going to zoom in on this drink here. I want to see how much of this drink. Carney is down most of the drink. We're getting down to towards the end there.
I've also killed a glass of wine in the process.
Jack Tarania says McGee's going old school with the tin sign. Don't worry about it, Jack. Actually, how come the Tarano sign's actually bigger than the Crown Head sign practically in this thing? And why is the banner so low? The banner used to be up higher.
Well, because I've raised my laptop, so I got to raise the banner.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I have been impressed, by the way, and there's no points for this, Brian, but actually there kind of is. Well done on the camera work this week. I mean, you had like angles there, and I mean, somebody did some practice with this camera on the office.
I did.
By the way, you don't get extra points for that. Like, because you do what you're supposed to do, you get extra points.
Are you the MEATorator? Then shut up.
I'm sorry. The man that out of the gate insisted on his own grill cam is going to sit there and give Brian shit just because he was able to point it correctly? I don't think so.
Yes, that's exactly right.
But I pointed it correctly on the first attempt.
Yeah.
I'm a broken man, guys. I'm a broken man today.
But you're hanging in there.
Brian, this is when I invited you to celebrate, when I invited you to celebrate a May Day Eve with me at Smoking Tobacco show. This is as big of a meltdown as happened that night.
Hey, what goes over really good on shows are inside jokes. That's a good move.
Right.
That's a good move.
Because everybody gets them.
Well, I mean, we're in quarantine, so they're all inside jokes right now, I guess.
Well, so if you watch any of my other shows, I am on a show with a friend of mine. Matthew Tobacco is his actual last name. And I do a show on Thursdays with Matthew. We talk about sports, NASCAR, cigars, what's going on in the world. And we invited Brian to be a guest on the show, and it did not go well. I tried to create a holiday. It was called May Day Eve. And Brian stuck with us. And it's now referred to as the May Day Eve Massacre. It was awful.
Oh, ouch.
No black bears, no nothing.
No, but it was terrible. There was no internet connection. It was as bad as it could have got.
Ow! Wow, that hurts. That hurts just a little
bit. Got about another minute or so here on the poached egg. I've got my hash off to the side here. I got my steak in, sliced up. Came out pretty good, to be honest with you. Medium well. Beautiful looking steak. So that'll be nice. Another thing you can kind of get away with, I don't hate it as much. When you're dealing with prime or prime plus, like I'm dealing with today, it's a higher marbling content. So you can take more heat and contain and hold in a lot more flavor. So, I mean, I prefer to still eat it medium rare. But if I'm going to eat something more medium well, it's certainly going to be a higher end, higher flavor potential steak because you can get away with it.
I'm glad you worked in flavor potential because I thought for a second you were going to talk about all that marbleization and not working in. I'm like, if he doesn't say flavor potential, then he is rattled right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting back to a little bit.
I question if he's really rattled or not. Just wanting sympathy points.
Maybe he's just going for the sympathy points. It's all been planned from the very beginning.
I try. I mean, I get that. That's something I would certainly do. In this case, I haven't. I haven't done it. I had 2 propane tanks. I even had my backup tank here. So I had backup tanks, different connections. I'm like, this is good to go. this is a lesson. This is the steak tip of the week. Whenever you're doing a barbecue, even if you're going to barbecue with propane, make sure you have charcoal going, because if I hadn't and I had just depended on propane today, you would have been in rough shape. I would have been going over to the fire pit behind me and cooking on the fire pit. But always have a backup plan. So, you can cook anything on fire. You can put a pot with water on it and poach an egg. You can cook rice in here. So as long as you have some natural fire, you're good to go. So we can't depend on modern conveniences such as propane and grills all the time. It's nice to just have fire. So that saved me today. But I think that's the steak tip of the week.
So your grill is busted. Your propane on the other thing broke. So basically next week we're doing grilling without fire. Is that what it's going to be? Or
Yeah, we're going to do anti-grilling.
Jack Tarano said that, McGee, you made a maple pork belly this weekend that looked pretty amazing. And I did see pictures of that, and it did look pretty damn good.
That was good. The star of the weekend was those beef ribs.
How'd you cook them? How'd you cook the beef ribs this weekend?
On smoker.
Okay.
275. Took about just shy of 8 hours, and then rested for 2. But the bark they fell apart, fell off the bone. It was really good.
Brian, did you take a picture of those burritos before you started eating them?
Of course not.
I'm so angry. I'm trying to post more of Brian's cooking, but
Wait, we'll get
he eats it.
I have enough made to make another one.
We'll get a screenshot out of the video.
I can show you the remnants.
So I pull the poached egg out. We're going to put it on top. I got 2 pieces of toast. I ate the third piece because I wanted to taste it. So the poached egg came out real nice. We're going to put it on in the middle of the first. So we're going to have a little bit of steak off to the left. We got 4 pieces of steak on top of the toast. We got the poached egg going on here. Then we're going to top with hollandaise sauce. I can bring this over here if we can see. We'll finish it off right over here.
Wow, that looks good.
And so we got a little bit of horseradish in here. We're going to pour a little hollandaise sauce over the top of the egg. I'll put a little bit drizzle it over the steak. We're going to hit it with some sun-dried tomatoes. Put a little bit of the basil and the chives. And then just for the last touch to see that we cook this right, we're going to poke the egg, and you're going to get a little egg drizzle out of it. So there you go. You got my skillet Filet Mignon Eggs Benedict with an Iberico Bacon Hash and rye marble bread. Boom. Done. Beautiful. And I sprinkled the hash. I did a little bit of grated Parmesan on top of the hash, and I garnished that with the basil and the chives as well. So boom, that we pushed through adversity and made a dish today. And I got boiling water here. Maybe I'll make some pasta.
So can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't move quickly, but that bear is right on your railing over your left shoulder. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like,
that's how the show.
And that's how the show ends.
I'm
going to take a picture. I'm going to take a picture here for the gram. So the grill cam is going to turn into the eating cam.
I don't think we have an eating cam. I don't think that's a thing.
Well, we didn't have a lot of things on today's show.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, let me take a bite here. Let's see how it goes. Grill cam's back.
It does look good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I tried the hash. The hash was excellent. So I was really happy with that. I'm glad I've been cooking a lot with sun-dried tomatoes lately. So I've been really enjoying that. And then these aloha peppers have got great color to it. So you can see the red. That's from the aloha peppers. Then we got the hollandaise sauce here. It is very good. I'm not a big breakfast fan, to be truly honest with you, I'm just not a big breakfast eater. I prefer to eat non-breakfast items for breakfast. So this is a perfect thing for me. So when I do eat breakfast at a restaurant and whatnot, I tend to go towards something like an Eggs Benedict. And for me being a steak lover, Filet Mignon was a perfect mix. So I put a bunch of different things I enjoy together here. Like the marble rye bread's my favorite. So yeah, it's a good dish. So I'm real happy with this.
Yeah, I'm not a huge breakfast person either, as far as just like an omelet or something. If I go out, I'm usually like, if they happen to serve like cheeseburgers at that same time, I'm going to get that, or I'm going to get get pasta or something definitely that that's what I do like about brunches, because they have a tendency to have other items available to eat. Plus, it's also just to go out and spend money for breakfast. Just seems pointless to me. It's like you're going to charge me $20 for a couple of eggs and a piece of bacon.
So I'm going to take this over. We're going to send this over. You got lots of bacon here. We're going to take this over to the true test. My father is my biggest food critic because he doesn't like anything. So here we go. And I dumped it on the ground.
Oh, there we go.
2020.
Okay. Oh.
Brad, listen.
All right, let's try.
He's going to hurt himself.
Let's try this again. Let's let him try this. Let's just end the damn show. End the damn show.
All right. Any more comments, Brian? Any more?
Take us out, man.
All right. So, actually, the point tonight was, since they both had bacon in their entrees, the point race was on who would say bacon the most out of both of them. And Brian did say bacon more, but I have to say that the sympathy points for the fact that Carney not only somehow didn't quit the show in the middle of it, but actually still pulled off his entree to the degree of which he did, that almost ended exactly the same way he had planned on making it from the beginning. I got to give Carney the win by far. Sorry, Brian. I mean, you did say bacon more, but Jonathan hanging in there despite bare potential attacks, which, by the way, we were hoping for because we would have been famous. But to pull the entree and hold it together, losing 2 sources of propane, boiling eggs right on a fire, pretty impressive. So, Jonathan, you definitely win this week for episode number 10, Breakfast for Dinner. Everybody else, thanks for joining us. We will be back. Matter of fact, we're going to do every week through July. Is that correct? Every week through June.
So,
and then we're
every
other week. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess this is a good time for us to bring up people that are in the comment box and watching the show. This week we'll be posting, as we did last week, our ingredients. We'll be posting pictures from the show, and we'll also be posting a naming contest that we've been talking about for the last 10 weeks. So we'd like to have you help us. In July, we're going to be transitioning to doing this show twice a month. It'll be every other week. There's some other things we have in the works and some exciting stuff that we'll be developing throughout the year that you'll keep you on. But we will be changing the name from Quarantine Grilling here in the next 3 weeks, and we need your help with it. So we'll be posting a contest over the next few weeks. Even if we don't pick your name, there'll be a winner of the contest.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that. But we'll be going every week through June. So we'll be every Monday. We'll be back next Monday. And then our July 4th special will be our last weekly show, and then we'll be doing a name change and transitioning from there as we work out of this quarantine. But I'm going to leave with this one thing. There's never been a victory I'm less proud of and more distraught about. I'm happy I won, but I'm just upset about it because I would have liked to win, not because I was creative, just because I made a great dish. But I'll take a win. A win's a win.
That's right.
This
Well,
is
congratulations.
Somebody gets a blue ribbon win.
That's right. That's right. It's the Lifetime Achievement Award of Hollywood. And you're not dead yet, so you actually got it early.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. This will be posted on YouTube. Also, be back on the page if you missed any of it. And we'll.
Oh, by the way,
week.
Fred.
Yeah.
Sorry, before you did that, there's one last thing, and then you can say that over again. All episodes are now available on YouTube. Episode 1 through episode 9, episode 10 will be on tomorrow. So all episodes are now available. So if you missed the early episodes, or you want to see how far we've come or how far we've fallen, you can check out every episode now on YouTube. Quarantine Grilling.
And it could go either way. So watch those. Bye, everybody.
See.